Good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome back to another math session. Within this session, we'll be dealing with adding and subtracting integers. We're going to look at this from a scenario of depositing versus withdrawing from a bank account. If you have the same signs, these are some rules. If you have the same signs, you're going to add and keep the sign. If you have different signs, you're going to subtract and keep the sign of the greatest number. And when you're subtracting integers, you're necessarily not going to use subtraction as a symbol. You're going to use it as a negative sign. You're going to add its opposite, and we're going to refer that to the second term. Okay, we have a couple of problems here. Let's go ahead and just apply those written rules there. And again, think of this as a deposit versus withdrawing from an account, or owing someone money versus paying them back. Okay, the first problem we have, all of the operations have been identified in red. We have, those are not negative numbers, negative signs, those are subtraction symbols. We are going to make them addition, and we're going to change the sign of the second term to its opposite. All right, number one, we're adding here. 5 plus negative 10. Start with the largest value. We owe someone $10. We give them $5. We still owe them $5. How do you represent you still owe someone? It's money you don't have, you have to give it out. Negative 5. And again, if you apply the rule, different signs, positive, negative, you subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. You keep the sign of the greater value, negative 5. Next problem. Okay, we went to our bank, we deposited $7 on one day. The next day we came back, we deposited $3. In those 2 days, how much money did we deposit total? We deposited $10 total dollars. All right, the next problem we have. Now we have a subtraction problem. So we have to, again, change the subtraction to addition and change the second term to its opposite. Opposite of negative 15 is positive 15. Now this is the same scenario now. We're adding integers. Negative 20 plus a positive 15. You borrowed $20 from someone. You gave them $15. You still haven't paid off your total debt. You still owe them $5. Again, applying the rule. Negative 20, positive 15. They have opposite signs. You subtract and you keep the sign of the greater value. All right, next problem. Subtraction again. We have to again change the subtraction to addition to add its opposite. The opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. Our signs have been changed. We can now go ahead and add this. We're adding because we have two positive values. We deposited $9 in our piggy bank. We also deposited $8. Out of those two deposits, what's our total net? The total we have in our piggy bank right now is $17. All right, next problem. Following the same concept. Now, you may look at this, you may think, oh, it has 3 numbers now. That is correct. So you still continue to follow the same rules. So you do one portion of the problem first. This is going to be a second term when you bring it down when you have solved the first portion of those two quantities. Positive 15 minus negative 20 minus 20. All right. Operations are going to change to addition. We have to add the opposite. The opposite of negative 20 is positive 20. Subtraction, we have to add. The opposite of 20 is negative 20. All right, now we have completed all the sign changing. We can go ahead now and we can complete this problem and just bring down each quantity. So again, remember to show all of your work. We have $15. We added another deposit of $20. We now have a net total deposit with these two values of 35. We're going to bring this down and associate the last portion. Plus, minus 20. Okay, out of that $35 we just deposited, we have now taken $20 away to purchase something. How much money do we have remaining in our account? It is depleting. We've taken away from it. We have a total of a $15 difference. I have one last problem. Subtraction. 9 minus 17 cannot take place. You're right, if you're thinking that. It can now, since you have the integer rules, and you know that we're looking at minus 17 now as a negative 17. How? We're going to change this to addition, and we're going to add its opposite. Opposite of positive 17 is now negative 17. So again, use the largest number first and use the debt versus credit scenario. We owe someone $17. We only gave them 9. We still have a debt to pay off. What is that debt? 17 minus 9 is 8. And to show that we have a debt, it has to be a negative value. We owe that money. It's not ours. It's not a credit. It's something we have to, again, give away once we get, the money or so. Again, back to this again. Just applying the rule now. Different signs. Negative 17, positive 9. You subtract, which difference will be 8. You keep the sign of the greater value. All right, this was combine these two lessons here. They're both adding and subtracting integers. Hope this was very helpful for you guys. Again, if you have any questions, please leave it in the commenting section. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And again, I try to post at least twice a week. And these are also our essential questions we have been completing and discussing in class.